All right, hello. My name is Jessie Moon, and I work with children to help with behavior problems. And I work in groups, I work privately, and I wanted to share a tip with you that I think a lot of parents have a problem with, and it's such an easy fix. So much of the behaviors that our children are having that, we don't like or annoy us or we wish would change. Many of those things have a lot to do with how we're responding to our kids. So if we're feeding them to act a certain way, a lot of times we don't realize we are. So this one tip is for children that whine a lot. And that's something that can be really annoying for parents. It can be embarrassing. And a lot of times parents can just feel like, oh my gosh, like I don't know what to do. Are they going to grow out of it? This kind of a feeling. So this tip is so easy. And okay, I'm going to try to explain it as simply as possible. So when your child is whining, we'll give the example like, say, they're just in this whining mood and they're like, I need some water. This is a really basic example. Or maybe they'll snap at you and like, get me some water, when they're just kind of in a little bratty mood and they're talking to you and kind of demanding, or they're not getting what they want, or they're like, no, I want to do this. Why can't we do this? That kind of a thing. So what you want to do is, and this can seem a little bit like, I don't know, maybe it can seem a little bit harsh. It's just really being strict. And what we're going to do is to teach our kids to shift into a higher vibration, because whining is a really low vibration and nobody likes kids that whine. Nobody likes adults that whine. And it's really sad if we can't help our kids to shift and realize that whining is not a good way to behave, to act, to speak to your parents, to speak to other people. It's disrespectful. So what we have to do is we have to teach our kids how to get what they want, because ultimately why they're whining is because they want what they want. So an example, a simple example is we're going to say water. So say they're whining for a glass of water. They're like, I need some water, like this really annoying tone, however they ask. And so what you want to do in response is say, okay, you want some water. Now I want you to ask in a higher tone. So you can use the language that you think will work for you and your family. I'm going to give you a bunch of different words and examples of what you can use, because what we're ultimately doing is teaching our children how to shift into a higher state of consciousness. We're teaching them how to speak from their heart. So this is actually an exercise in learning how to communicate with compassion and from our heart, which is ultimately what we're all learning. So when you're whining, you're in a lower vibration. You're in this like negative place. The energy is lower. It's down in the belly. It's this like, bleh, So you want to say, okay, let's take a deep breath. So first, you as a parent need to take a deep breath, because the immediate reaction, which is also unconscious, is to just get annoyed. Isn't that the same, state of consciousness of your child whining? You now get angry at your child. That's low also, right? So the point is to everybody raise and to come into a higher place. And when you teach your child to be in that higher place all the time, that will be their default. And they'll learn to communicate with you from that place. So what you want to do is say, okay, well, you don't get what you want when you whine. You never get what you want when you whine. And that's what I was saying. Maybe it sounds a little bit harsh, but this works, and it's really not harsh. So what you can say is, you don't get what you want when you whine. How do you talk nice? That's the basic line that I would use with my son when he was little, and it really helped him to shift. And yeah, I'm very proud of him. I have a beautiful son that speaks in a high tone, knows how to speak respectfully. And when he doesn't, sometimes I have to remind him. So it will continue. So you say, okay, you don't get what you want when you whine. Take a deep breath and ask in a nicer tone. ask in a higher tone. And don't just sit there and wait for them to do it, because they don't know how to shift. They don't know how to shift into a higher tone. They're just like, what? They'll try and they'll be like, can I have a glass of water? They might say it in a little bit better way, and you still don't want to get the glass of water for them. You want to make sure they really shift into a place of speaking from their heart, in a place of love, that they feel better. So we're helping them feel better at the same time, so they get out of that little whiny state. Okay, so what you do is, no, you don't get what you want when you whine. Can you, now speak to me in a nicer tone, but you want to make sure you're suggesting this in a nicer tone. So I just observed my tone just now, and it was a little bit like, now speak to me in a nicer tone. You don't want to have it like that. We don't want to be all demanding. So you really have to be conscious of what tone are you speaking from, right? So now my tone is changing a little bit. I'm making sure, because I have to be a good example for you guys to really understand this skill and teaching our children to speak from a higher state of consciousness, to speak from their heart. You have to do it in order to emulate it. Our kids just emulate us. So what you want to do is, no, you don't get what you want when you whine. Can you ask in a sweeter tone? And then you exemplify like this. Mommy, can I please have a glass of water? And you say, can you say it like that? And then I'll get it for you. Mommy, can I please have a glass of water? And they'll look at you, because kids are beautiful beings. They don't have big egos like adults. They're not going to hold on to their whine. They just want what they want. And they're like, okay. Mommy, can I please have a glass of water? They will do it. It's so easy to get kids to shift their consciousness. It's like amazing. I love my work. It's so beautiful to shift. So you can do this too with your own children, and you can save that vibration in your home, and you can really establish a tone in your home that is beautiful, that everybody speaks to each other in a nice tone. And that's just the tone in your home. Wouldn't that be lovely if the tone in your home was just like, Mom, can I please do this? Or, and if the answer is no, it's so much easier to give a no if everybody's in their heart. Sometimes, it might not be water, but this is just the example right now. But if, it's, Mommy, can I please go to my friend's house after school? So say they ask you, can I go to my friend's after school, but they can't go, but they're whining, and you're like, okay, ask in a nicer tone. But if the answer is still no, then you can still say no. They'll say, Mommy, can I please? Because you help them to shift their consciousness, so they'll actually be able to take the no without having a tantrum. So they say, okay, Mommy, can I please have my friend over after school? So first establish the tone. You don't even respond to the question before they change their tone. Teach them to talk to you respectfully. So once they do, and if the answer is, no, not today, we have, things we need to do, whatever that might be. And you already helped them shift, so they'll be able to accept the no. They'll probably be like, okay. That's happened many times for me and for my clients also. So play with that. I think you're going to love it. Practice. Let me know. I love hearing from you. I just gave this to a mom of a child I work with. That's why I thought, you know what, I need to put this out there, put it up for anybody else that maybe needs this little mindfulness skill and teaching your kids how to speak respectfully. And this also helps them to receive your no, if it's a no, how to listen to you. And the whole key is learning how to communicate and communicate from our hearts, to live from our hearts. So let me know if you have any questions, and good luck. Have fun and enjoy your beautiful children. They just need to learn. That's it. We're all learning and growing and evolving. And we don't know if we're not taught how to shift. So it's our responsibility as the adults to understand how to shift our consciousness, how to shift our vibration. And one of the easiest ways is just observe what tone of voice you're in. Are you speaking from your heart? Or are you speaking from anger and frustration? If you're speaking from anger and frustration, take a few breaths, bring it up, and then share, and then communicate. And if you as a parent need a little more time to shift your consciousness so that you can communicate with your kids at a higher level, if you need to take a walk, then do that. And then come back. But I think it's a lot easier than we all a lot of times make it out to be. So enjoy. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.